All right, let's quickly talk about rates and the RBA. We're going to get the unemployment numbers as well that could feed into this entire story. But basically, we've got some good news yesterday. Rates were on hold for one, but also the RBA brought back into play a possibility of a February rate cut.
Well, this is certainly going to be cold comfort for those families with a mortgage that were hoping for a rate cut before Christmas. There's been 12 rate rises under this government. Interest repayments on mortgages have tripled over that period of time, and many Australian families are really struggling right now with their own budgets to decide what it is that they can and can't afford. Unfortunately, Jim Chalmers and Anthony Albanese have failed to do the same with their budgets because they have increased government spending, because they've maintained that urge to spend that all governments have, but Labor governments seem to be unable to control it. That has kept interest rates higher for longer. Inflation has stayed higher for longer, and interest rates have stayed higher for longer. In fact, interest rates have come down in about 40 countries around the world, but have failed to come down yet in Australia. The Reserve Bank have said that they're now expecting inflation to come back sustainably to band in 2026. That's still a long time away. They've pushed out their forecast of when inflation will come back to band 4 times over the life of this government. Let's hope that they get it right this time, because there's a lot of Australians out there that simply can't wait any longer for some relief. They've been looking for that from their government. The government's decisions have essentially made the problem worse, made inflation stay higher for longer and interest rates higher for longer.
Jane, finally, Paul Fletcher calling time. I didn't see this one coming. So close to an election. He's put that seat in play for the Teals potentially.
No, I didn't see it coming either, I'm afraid. And, Paul is a good friend. He's been an extraordinary voice of compassion and conviction in our parliament. He will be sorely missed. I'm certain that there will be plenty of people lined up to take his spot. I couldn't name any other than one at the moment, which was our candidate for North Sydney, which was a seat that was abolished. Giselle Kaptarian is an extraordinary woman who's got an amazing experience in the tech sector. Yeah. She's got experience in international affairs, and she's got deep ties in the Armenian community. Obviously, there's a large Armenian community in Bradfield as well, particularly now that North Sydney has been redistributed, and I know that she'll be putting her hand up, and I wish her very well. Okay.
Any inkling as to why? And also, it's good to see 5 women that are lining up to want to be the candidate for Bradfield too.
Oh, that's very good. I didn't realise there were so many women. We're seeing the same at a state seat here in Victoria, in Paran, that there are now 2 women running for that pre-selection, which is always good news. No, I have no inkling as to why. Sometimes it's just time to call time. But Paul has made such an extraordinary contribution, and he really is a voice of reason and centrist sensibilities, and he will be very sorely missed.
Well, we'll have him on the program a little later on, so we'll ask him. Jane, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks very much, Laura.